Hello there.
General Kenobi. I was
It's
waiting. I
been a
was like,
while since we've done
does he
that
want me to respond to that?
So, hey guys, welcome to this latest episode of the Super Split Screen Brothers. I'm Nick. This is Jared. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well. Really excited for this episode.
Oh yes, it's gonna be a good one. So let's just start like we've been doing. What you been playing, playa?
Well, in terms of like content, in terms of games I've been playing a lot. I've been continuing on my Avengers playthrough because they released all the MCU outfits, so I just basically equipped all that, and I've been starting the development process for my superhero D&D campaign, which we will be playing on Comics League. It'll be super fun. I have an idea for a story, and by the way, it's been a story that let's just say I've hinted about it on Comics League in the past. What the story is, just saying. But and just been in terms of like what TV shows I've been consuming, I binged all of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. Is the adaptation of the Critical Role campaign. I've been getting a lot. I've actually gotten really into Critical Role because as we've started like a D&D, as we're starting a D&D campaign on my channel, I want to kind of look at the people who do it really well and see what they do so I can adapt that. And in my mind, there's no one that's a better D&D person than Matt Mercer. You just can't do any more than that.
Yeah, he's such a good D&D. He's created what's called the Matt Mercer effect, where like everyone thinks like D&D should be like Critical Role. So I have no really problems with the show itself. The show really is a gold standard and it's well produced. The show itself is fine. The problem I have with Critical Role is the effect it's had on D&D and like the people who emulate it. Like the people who go in, they want D&D to be like a game of Critical Role when it's not always like that, and more often than not, it's not. Like Critical Role is you have professional voice actors who are all working together to make an entertaining product, whereas D&D is usually like a group of people playing out a story together. So it's not
Well, it's
always
not really their fault though. It's really more of the people.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I started by saying Critical Role itself is fine. Like I said that at the outset. That was me. Like I'm not saying this is Critical Role's fault per se. It's just more the effect it's had.
True.
Is the issue.
I also like it because I know like 99.9% of those voice actors from like Halo, Last
Jennifer
of Us,
Bailey,
and everyone. If you consumed any geek content the past, like I'd say 10 years, you have heard Laura Bailey's voice at least once. And Travis Willingham and Ashley Johnson.
Speaking of D&D, do you know that Joe Manganiello is a huge D&D fan?
Oh yeah.
Like
Deathstroke is huge into D&D.
Like he runs a D&D session that's like just like a who's who of
Hollywood people.
Yeah.
Like I think he even said that James Gunn showed up. And then speaking of James Gunn, so actually said Guardians of the Galaxy is basically a D&D campaign.
I can believe that.
But yeah, so I've been doing that. I see what else have I been really doing that I've enjoyed. In terms of I've been like watching Mandalorian, which is meh. But I'm hoping this next episode is good, and just been chilling. How about you?
I've been good. We kind of took last week off for technical reasons, so we got a lot to catch up on. I did a convention up north, did really well. I watched Reacher. That's a really good show. Like, oh wow, that's good.
It's an adaptation. It's a book adaptation, but it's an adaptation nonetheless.
We'll talk about adaptations later today. Beyond that, let's see here. Finished up the main campaign of Spider-Man. Really, really good.
Oh yes. I've only watched the whole campaign, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
You haven't played it yet?
I've played most of it. It's just my computer's really slow right now. So until I build a gaming PC, that part, the playing it part, is on hold. I've seen the entire campaign.
You need to play it.
I will. As soon as I get a good gaming PC so I can play it the way it's meant to be played, I will do that.
Oh, there's always the Steam Deck route if need be.
I can even stream it.
Hmm? Yeah, so that's been really good. So I've been playing Spider-Man. Now I'm kind of just working on the DLC, then kind of finish that up. Not sure what game I'm going to be playing next after this. But yeah, No Man's Sky has been catching a lot of my attention. I've basically been treating it like Minecraft, so it's been really funny.
That's kind of what it is. It's space Minecraft.
No complaints there. They just released a new Intercept update. I got like this really cool Sentinel ship and whatnot. I need to get you to play No Man's Sky, Jared. You'd love it.
I play it. I have it on my Xbox. I just have to reinstall it.
Yeah, I think you can do crossplay with that with Xbox on that one. We'll see.
In this case, I'm shooting you out of the sky for saying Wonder Bat. So there you go. But so want to move on to the news?
Yes, sir.
So what have we got for the news this week, Nick?
So for the news, we basically got two different movie reviews. First up is the movie Tetris, which is an exclusive to Apple Plus. Tetris is the story of how the game Tetris came to America. And if you don't know, it's actually a really crazy story. The movie itself is more of a dramatization. You know, it's based on true events. You know, kind of thing. But it's really good. Going into this, I was pretty familiar with the story. Shout out to Gaming Historian. He did a really good video. I'll try and link that, and then maybe another video or two on the subject of like Tetris. And it stars Taylor Edgerton, the guy from Kingsman. He's really good in this. Touches upon a lot of the Nintendo stuff, like like to talk about the Game Boy and whatnot. Really well done movie. They incorporate a lot of like pixel graphics and then like a lot of the 80s music. They even use like some Russian covers of the songs. And it's really good, very high energy. This movie could have been released in theaters and probably done pretty well. So I highly recommend it.
Watch, so if they release it in theaters and some nerd is like, that's not accurate to the way Tetris is. That's not accurate to Tetris lore. You know, someone would make that on Twitter just for a joke.
Probably. The lore of Tetris demands your sacrifice.
It breaks it. It breaks it. This is the Ryan Johnson of Tetris. I love that silence.
Why did you say that name?
But anyway,
you're lucky we're not on recording this on my stream. Otherwise, you'd get an F off bar.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Since I said the name.
Why did you say that name?
There you go.
Oh, it didn't appear.
Yeah, I changed. Oh, it didn't appear. All right, whatever. It played on my. Oh, it'll be on my thing.
It's okay.
But so what's? So I understand you saw the It's a Me Mario movie.
Yes, I did. I went in theaters, and for a 3:00 showing on a Saturday, it was actually decently packed. Not sold out, mind you, but like I'd say more than half of the theater was full. And this was 3 p.m. on a Saturday. So apparently the movie has made $200 million opening weekend.
It has supplanted Frozen as I think the most grossly making animated movie of all time.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is what happens when you don't make woke stuff, Hollywood. It makes money. When you respect the canon, people will show up.
It's not a perfect movie, but it's really darn close. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just for those of you that don't know, Nick barely gives a 9.5 out of 10 to stuff.
I think this is like the first one. Like it's very like I don't do 10 out of 10s very often. But like 9s are rare and 9.5s are even rarer. So like yeah, I'd say as far as another video game movie I've rated like Sonic 2 is probably Oh, 9.5, another 9.5.
They literally
I
put him in one of those temple things, and he's doing a temple run. And they have him go underwater, too, so you can't beat that.
Yeah, I have it. Like, I'm sorry, but Sonic 2, like, just that hit at all the notes. Like, even the fact that, like, the movie poster was a recreation of the box art for the Sonic 2 game. I want that poster on my wall. So yeah. That kind of gives me like a thought, which kind of leads into our main topic, video game adaptations and the relation to the comic book movies that we've been getting.
But speaking of game adaptations, I did happen to receive this in the mail yesterday. This is the action figure of Laura Bailey's character in Vox Machina, Vaxalia, the half elf ranger. I came prepared with props.
You know, if Laura Bailey ever comes to MegaCon, you need to get her to sign that.
No, oh, dude, yeah. I will find some way. I'll get her to either sign the Vox Machina comic books or the History of Critical Role book.
Oh, she'll gladly sign all that.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. And then I'll say, you were fantastic in Halo 5. She was one of the good parts of Halo 5. By the way, if you've watched Avengers Assemble, she's Black Widow. Or the Avengers game by Travis, her husband Travis also plays Thor in both of those adaptations. They do a lot of projects together, which is actually really cool.
Yeah. I love Laura Bailey. I mean, she's pretty much in everything.
Nice. She's so nice.
See here for me. Let's see here. I think she's at one of the characters in Saints Row 4 because I believe, yeah,
she's the boss voice in Saints Row 4.
Actually, because like in Saints Row 4, the character that I have is a girl, and it's Laura Bailey's voice.
Yeah, so obviously because I did a Wonder Woman character, I went with the one with the French accent because that's like the closest I can get to Gal Gadot's accent. But yeah, she is the American female voice. She's the first voice option.
Yeah.
Which so you could have someone you can have Laura Bailey berating the alien invasion or like other like groups. It's really funny.
What I loved about her, because like this is a tangent, I don't care. What I love about like, because in Saints Row 4, all the voice acting had like a slightly different performance, and that like Laura Bailey, it just seems like she's having fun. Like it, like for example, when she goes, "Woo!" You know, it just seems like you're like the character's having fun with you. So that's why I love Laura Bailey's performance.
By the way, there's Nolan North. A fun idea for a series of episodes of this show is talk about specific voice actors that have been in like all of our favorite stuff.
Okay, then we can get Laura Bailey to come on the show.
Oh, if we get her to come on the show, that's a big plus, sir.
Okay, what line would you have her do?
That's a good question. Probably. Ah, jeez. What would you have her say?
I put you on the spot. Now you put me on the spot.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. What are some of her famous lines that she said?
Maybe something from Fallout New Vegas. I don't know. Because she's Julie Farkas in Fallout New Vegas. There's so many good voice actors in Fallout New Vegas.
I would just probably have her say, "Tell me something from Vox. Anything, literally anything. You have fantastic lines in that. I'm fine with that."
Or like, what famous movie line would you have her do?
Luke, I am your father.
I'd have her do War Never Changes.
No, I'd have her go, "This is the way," so I can hear her say it like the Armorer.
Oh. Yeah, I'd have her do the Fallout War Never Changes.
Yeah. But wait, she's fantastic. She's one of my favorite. She's up there with Jennifer Hale in terms of my favorite voice actresses.
You have good taste in voice actresses, my friend.
Well, yeah, because and the thing about her, she also communicates the. I know we're on a tangent, but technically this counts because it's adaptations of gaming, and she's been in plenty of those. The thing about Laura Bailey specifically with her voice acting chops is she's able to capture that tough female character, but not be annoying as the tough female character like Brie Larson is.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really bend her voice, but she is such a dang good actress that, like, she's able to, like, make this one voice be so dynamic. Like, she can be sultry, she can be tough. Like, she is such a good voice actress that I don't care that she does one voice.
Fun fact, I was reading this, and was kind of the very first Critical Role game was actually just a one-shot campaign for like one of the people's birthday. Everyone was super nervous, didn't know what to do and everything. She drops right in with the back with the accent for Vex. She goes full tilt, and then everything starts from there.
That would be such a good interview, I'd say.
Oh, yes.
I would definitely ask her about Fallout New Vegas, because you know me, I'm a Fallout New Vegas fan.
Yes, and I would ask her about Avengers and all that stuff, and what happened to that game. But anyway, what do you think happened? We can also ask her about The Last of Us, because wasn't she in Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah, basically Neil Druckmann created a self-insert character solely for the purpose of... I think she plays Abby, actually.
Yeah, I think she plays Abby. That's where... That's another... I mean, obviously, I haven't played Last of Us Part 2, and I honestly don't plan to, because I like Joel.
Please don't.
I like Joel too much, so I'm like, no!
Yeah, for most people, after they play Last of Us, if they ever see a set of golf clubs, they get PTSD.
Yeah. But anyway, but my point is, she and her husband both have been in so much stuff that I have played and consumed over the years that I'm like, I know literally practically everything I've ever done, I've ever played or done. Laura Bailey's been in this. She's been in Halo now. She's been in Gears of War. I'm like, geez.
All that's left now is for her to be on Comics League.
Yes, exactly. What if she guest stars in our campaign? That'd be fun. But anyway, that's it. But speaking of gaming adaptations,
oh my god! Imagine if we get big enough where like we make we actually
a collab with Critical Role,
and Vex somehow appears in our campaign for one shot.
I could do it. A portal opens and she comes through. There you go. We're done. she has a rivalry with Green Arrow on who's the better archer.
and then Huntress is like, why is she getting all the attention?
Why do you use a bow? That's so archaic. Why don't you use a crossbow? That's the thing in the animated show. She critiques crossbows. It's so good. But okay. But speaking of gaming adaptations, I've completed. I watched the last episode of The Last of Us, and yes, it is awesome. The last episode is really good. But and that's the thing. And you brought this up last time I mentioned The Last of Us. I tried to mention it every week because I know that annoys Nick. But the game is basically a walking simulator. It's basically a movie with some gameplay sprinkled in. So that one's actually very easy to adapt.
Yeah.
Per se.
Which just makes the travesty that is the Uncharted movie just that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I mean, let me put it this way. I thought the Uncharted movie was pretty good. And again, it's because I haven't played the games. So I'm like, as a fan of like swashbuckling adventure movies, I thought it wasn't that bad. My only complaint is I didn't buy Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, because I know what Nathan Drake is supposed to be like, and I'm like, no.
You need to play the Uncharted games.
Again, Xbox, but I have YouTube, so I've been watching the cutscenes, and I'm like...
By the way, Uncharted is on PC.
Okay, but again, I need a gaming PC, so I don't have...
Once you get a gaming PC, you will have no excuse.
Once I get a gaming PC, you can get Spider-Man, Last of Us, Uncharted, Last of Us Part 1, let me be clear on that, Uncharted, and basically all Knights of the Old Republic, the remake, when it inevitably comes out and it inevitably gets a PC port.
Don't get, I would hold off on getting Last of Us PC because the port's actually not that good at the moment. It's very glitchy and broken.
All right, but anyway, but back to this. The thing is that, see, here's the problem, and actually, I think it's Warp Zone did a great piece of content about this, and they said the problem with adapting a video game. Okay, he had this example. He asked his friend, okay, so tell me the story of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then the dude brought up the entire story. And then he goes, okay, tell me what you did in Breath of the Wild. And then he went on this big 2-hour discussion about, and then I did this, and then I did this. And he goes, that's the issue. Because when you're adapting a video game, you have to also, it's different than adapting a comic book or a book or anything like that. When adapting a video game, you also have to adapt the player's experience in a game. And that's very difficult to do because no two players are going to have the same experience playing a game.
Yeah, I think that's why when you see a lot of the successful game adaptation we've been getting recently, they basically they do a story, but they kind of adapt what it feels like to play the game in very broad strokes.
Yeah.
It kind of like Sonic movies, you get like certain kind of like, for example, snowboarding. Obviously, Sonic does like snowboarding in many of the games, so you have that. I mean, literally, the snowboarding level, it's like, do 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 do. You know, it's like you just want to put that the song in it, you know.
Or it's like when he's underwater and they start playing the underwater Sonic theme that gives everyone PTSD and a heart attack.
And then he like sucks on an air bubble, which is like, you know.
Yeah, and then he goes, I hate water. And like, we do too, Sonic. We do too. But that's the thing. Video game movies have to capture like you said, instead of capturing how someone plays the game, they have to capture what it feels like. And that's the thing. I'm going to bring up the worst gaming adaptation I could think of, Halo. The thing about it is that it did not capture the feel of the universe either. Because here's what yes, exactly. Here's what it did. Number one, it did that. And that's very distracting. Number two, and this is a problem, I've talked to a lot of my other Halo lore geeks. Not once did we feel like the Covenant is a threat. The Covenant, the alien alliance that's wiping out humanity, they only showed one scene of a planet being burnt to ash. One. That should have, if they didn't want to focus necessarily on like the Covenant part and focus on the human part, they could have at least had like news things going off saying another planet gets glassed by the Covenant. Is humanity on its last legs? There you go. But they didn't do that because they want to make a generic ass sci-fi show.
Like, for example, look at the one piece of Halo property that I've seen and enjoyed, Halo Forward Unto Dawn.
Yeah.
They did that with like a tenth of the budget. Master Chief only really shows up for like the last third. But even then, it feels like Halo.
Yeah, because again, you have like they're piecing together the like helmet cam stuff of the Covenant attacks. You have that, and then you have like the Covenant invasion, which completely wipes out everyone else. And even Chief goes, "You're the last survivors on the planet." Even in Halo Nightfall, because that whole thing is they're being hunted by those worms that make up the hunters. So it's like there's always this tension in there. So a Covenant race is always a threat. In this, nothing. Which is bad in the universe. Beyond the fact that it didn't have, speaking of capturing what it feels like to play the game, it didn't even have that much action in a Halo game, in a Halo show.
Yeah, like we've had some good adaptations. Like the original Mortal Kombat is good, but I think mostly because Mortal Kombat is a tournament in itself, and that's an easy structure for a movie to adapt.
Plus, the newer one also kind of captured that whole little arena fight where they all warp into those little arenas and then they have the battle.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is a little bit easier because Mortal Kombat has such a wide breadth of like really interesting lore. Like Mortal Kombat has a lot of these really interesting characters. Even back in the 90s, they had like this like story that like was actually really engaging. So Mortal Kombat is a little bit easier to adapt.
Plus, you can and this is why I love the newer one. They captured a lot of the gaming moments, like your friend spamming one move, and you go, "Is that the only move you know?" And even how the characters go, "Flawless victory."
Yeah, and they even get and I think that's what they put little moments in like Kung Lao's fatality for the movie is straight from the games.
Yeah, it's like even this is kind of a video game adaptation. When Dr. Fate breaks Black Adam out of the Task Force XL, the move he makes, that's his animation when you win as Dr. Fate in Injustice. Like legit. Oh,
not even that. Paste. But like there's a scene earlier in the movie where he kind of smacks his Ankh down, which is straight from Injustice.
That's a move. Yes, exactly. It's like they took a lot of the moves from Injustice and just adapted. I mean, even in the Injustice movie, say what you want about the animated movie, they recreated a lot of their fatalities in the movie very well. They even combined Superman's from 2 and 1 into one move.
Yeah. So what are some video game adaptations you felt have missed the mark?
Missed the mark, Halo for number 1. Number 2
Obviously.
is, honestly, now that I know what the game looks like, Uncharted. Number 3,
It's gonna be
let's
even
see.
worse once you play the first game and you go back and rewatch that movie. You will have blood pressure issues for the rest of the day.
All Tomb Raider games movies pre-Vikander.
No.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like the Angelina Jolie movies perfectly capture that era's Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Because you remember the Vikander ones are going off the new Tomb Raiders, which they do those well. But if you ever played the original kind of Tomb Raider games, at least the first like Cradle of Life is okay, but like the original Tomb Raider movie, I feel like it definitely kind of hits that vibe of the original Tomb Raider. And Angelina Jolie was a perfect actress to play that version of Lara Croft.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. She should have been Lara Croft in the beginning, but
she was Lara Croft in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But and the other injustice thing, I think, the other adaptation was Injustice, because ultimately they crammed too much of that thing's story into the thing. Even though they captured a lot of the great elements from the game, like the final moves and such. And yeah, those are about the ones that I think are the most egregious. What about you?
Clearly you've never even seen any clips from Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh,
Too bad you shall die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is terrible. Like, we've gotten some really bad ones. I know some people cite the Mario Brothers movie. It's a bad adaptation, but I feel like it's an entertaining movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Street Fighter is kind of hilariously bad. It's...
Of course, I haven't added that clip into here. I'll add it in there.
That would have been the perfect moment to drop that. But
yeah,
like I've said this so many times, but like if you watch not Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter as like an action comedy, it is the most hilarious movie ever.
Mm-hmm. But if you watch it as a serious movie, I'm like, what? Well, actually, here's me watching as a serious movie.
What?
There you go. Now I got it.
Huh, the clips aren't playing on my end.
Let me try it again.
What?
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what I'm like. It's like, yeah, here's me going to the people adapting like Injustice, Halo, and such. Yeah, that's me right there.
You're making really good use of my clips, brother.
Thank you. So, but now let's talk about the best ones. Because speaking of that Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider movie with Vikander was pretty... I just love that actress.
They captured so many of the actual scenes from the game well.
Question. Okay, this is a tangent, but please tell me you've seen Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes, of course I have.
I mean, it has Vikander and Henry Cavill in it.
It has Superman and Lara Croft in it, of course.
Also, have you seen Ex Machina? She's in it.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah, I was just trying to think. There's so many movies that have Machina in the title. I'm like, which one? And I was like, oh, that's the one she's a robot. I got it.
It has Lara Croft, and then it also has Moon Knight as the villain in it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oscar Isaac.
He's just such a good actor. Oh my
yes,
God.
He is. He did really well as Moon Knight. I'll give you that. He was able to do those different personalities really well.
Too bad the show was crap.
Yeah, the show was crap, but he was a pretty good Moon Knight. But anyway, see, the best game adaptations, I would have to say, number 1 and 2 are number 1 for me is any of the Sonic games. Both of them are like tied in there because that is pretty much what's like playing a Sonic game, 100%. Like there's no.
This also includes TV shows. Just putting that out there.
Number 2 is Vox Machina, because they managed to take a D&D campaign and put it into an animated show. That's hard to do. And let's see, in terms of TV shows, well, not Halo. Halo 4 into Dawn. That counts.
For me,
Mhm.
Castlevania definitely deserves a mention. I feel like they just nailed it.
Mhm.
Probably my favorite scene is from season 2 when they're about to storm the castle, and like there's like Cypher distracts him. Alucard goes crazy, and we support. Like it's like where they're like a final unit, and it's like playing Bloody Tears from the movie. Like, oh my God, that's such a good scene. It's my favorite scene in the whole show.
Oh.
It's the only time they actually play a track from the game, and they picked the perfect moment to do it. I just love that scene so much.
Even speaking of great, of picking the scenes in Mortal Kombat, when Scorpion first shows up and he goes, "Get over here," they go, "Dun dun 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 dun." I'm like, yes,
Yes, so they definitely picked the perfect
thank
moment to bring
you.
that in.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat. I wish someone yelled Mortal Kombat.
You know, if we ever get like the movie watch-alongs on your Patreon up, Mortal Kombat definitely needs to be on that list.
That'll be one. That'll be one. 100%.
That would be a good one to watch with people. Like that would be a good.
That's a good non-comic book one for the.
We got to do Annihilation after that, just to crap on it.
But by the way, I just want to add one thing. I want to add to my least favorite video game adaptations, the Resident Evil movies pre Welcome to Raccoon City.
Some of them are good. Like some of the CG ones are pretty good. Like Resident Evil.
No, I'm saying the live action ones, because the animated ones are pretty good. The live action ones suck.
Those one, like the first one was trying to be Resident Evil, but after that it was just like,
no, I'm like,
hey,
what is this? It's like, it's kind of funny. I was playing I played 6 after watching the movies, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah, basically after the first one, basically just got to watch them as like just generic action movies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's why I like Welcome to Raccoon City, because that one is at least trying to look like to be like a Resident Evil.
Is that
movie.
the Netflix?
No, that's the one that came out in theaters pre the Netflix.
Okay, because I know the Netflix one is hilarious.
It's the one with Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield
and Lance Hendrickson as Wesker.
No. He didn't play Wesker in the movie. He played in the TV show.
Yeah, the Netflix one.
The one I'm talking about is the movie that came out before the show.
Okay.
But yeah, the only complaint I have is who they cast as Leon, and he didn't act in any way like Leon. And I'm like, no.
Who'd they cast?
Let me show you, as a matter of fact. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, Leon. You won't like this because he looks nothing like Leon too.
Oh, have you played the Resident Evil 4 remake? I hear it's really good.
I haven't played it yet. I want to. But anyway, so I'm gonna give me a second to blow up this image so it's large enough for you to see.
All right. Hope you have enough napalm.
Yeah, exactly. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Speaking of good video game adaptations, I want to give a shout out to the Warcraft movie.
Oh yeah, that one's actually really good.
Yeah. As a Warcraft adaptation, it's great. As a movie, it's a bit on the generic side, I will be honest. But it's actually, I think it's actually pretty decent.
This is Leon. You ready?
That is not Leon.
Thank you. And he's a coward for most of the movie.
I'm sorry, but Leon is a blonde.
The rest of the cast is actually pretty spot on in terms of who they cast to look at the characters. Everyone else.
That is not Leon.
No, that is even I was, because I played 6 and Leon's a character in that, and I was like, he looks nothing like him. At least make him wear a wig.
At least in the Netflix when they had Black Wesker, at least they dressed him like Wesker. At least he kind of vaguely looked like Wesker. That guy just looks like a generic cop.
Yeah, there's nothing there that screams. He doesn't have like the generic the like
the 90s
signature hair. Yeah, and by the way, he's not even try to sound or act like Leon.
Which by the way, I don't think I've ever said this, but like my hairstyle is actually modeled after Leon.
I was about to say, any second now he's gonna say he modeled his hairstyle after Leon.
No, that is the truth.
No,
like,
I know.
It's kind of cut down now, but look at this. This is Leon.
Yeah, I don't know. The hair kind of gives me the T virus. I had to. That's a little pun for me.
But yeah, like I've been rocking a Leon for at least a year or two now, and like literally when I went to get this haircut originally, I literally had like a picture of Leon. And I was like, I want this.
And you went,
I regret nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
So
But,
yeah, I've been rocking the Leon for, like literally in front of your face this whole time.
yeah, but so now, what do you think if you were if let's say some movie studio came to you and said, Nick, we want to adapt this game. How do we do it well? What would you tell them?
First off, have everyone in the production team play the game. And for love of God, if I see a report that you guys specifically told the production crew not to play the game, I am shutting down production that moment.
Or if you say like we emasculated certain characters purely because of their gender, no, you're fired.
Yeah, I'm just I'm sorry, this is a rant incoming, so curse
Or
words
it's like,
about
wait, on The Witcher, when they said that these people actively hated the source material.
Just
Yeah,
give me,
go ahead. Actually, you know what?
Rant
Here.
incoming. There will be curse words.
Wait. Well, it's your channel, so I don't care.
No, I want to see you. Don't.
All right,
you know.
all right. Oops. Wrong button. Sorry.
Why the fuck, when you are adapting a video game adaptation, do you not play the source material? Do you brag to the media that you specifically told people to not play the game, to stay away from them?
And
Why
you hire people who hate it?
Why the fuck do you like brag about that? That is not something you brag about. That is the reddest of red flags. What the hell?
Or it's
I
like
would have
when
put another F
or it's like with the
bomb.
MC, or it's like with the MCU when they say, "Oh yeah, we don't hire people who are comic book fans." You're adapting comic books.
Star Wars is clearly doing the same thing.
Here's my rant, okay? Am I allowed to go on a rant?
Go ahead.
Why are you hiring people to work on a project that actively hate the source material, and you're bad-mouthing guys like Henry Cavill, who I'm sorry if they're difficult to work for, but hang on. First off, he's not. He just wants you to adapt. If you're going to adapt the source material, adapt the source material. Don't use it as a vehicle because you're too creatively bankrupt to take your subpar fan fiction and turn it into a movie. I'm sorry if you want to use it as a shield, but guess what? If you don't, like this way, if it's going to, my problem is like when the Halo executives talked about their justification for putting in an alternate timeline, they said because it would interfere with the story we wanted to tell. Then change your story.
I mean, as far as like, see, I don't mind creating an alternate timeline. Like for example, the Star Trek did this, the Kelvin timeline. I thought that was like the perfect solution for
Here's
like
the
the
difference,
Star
though, Nick. It still felt a little bit like Star Trek.
True, and the thing is, Star Trek had already had alternate timeline, so it's like okay, that's
and the characters sounded and acted like they're the people they were supposed to represent. There was no Master. There was no Captain Cheeks. That just popped in my head. I cannot help.
Sorry, now I'm having an image of a naked Patrick Stewart, and I can't get out of my head now.
I regret nothing.
I had to, dude.
Go suck a dong.
I had to.
So.
Nerd!
All right.
Okay.
For our last segment, I wanted to talk about our top fives, and we're going to talk about our top 5 video game adaptations.
Excellent choice.
And these can be either TV shows or movies. Or direct to DVD is fine as well if you want to kind of bring that in. Jared, ladies first.
Halo. I'm only kidding. Probably number 1 right now is probably Vox Machina. That's the one that I'm really into right now. In fact, I'm watching the whole series from the beginning for the second time right now. And I would have to say The Last of Us, Halo Legends. Yes, suck it, Nick. Halo Legends, and Halo is the anime project, and then so that's 3. 4 Sonic, and by these are in no particular order. It's not like all of these are like ranked. It's just like I'm just a little listing off the top of my head, and I haven't seen Mario yet, so I can't like rank that. So probably okay, Mortal Kombat, the newer one, the one that I have actually seen.
Okay.
What about you, Nick?
All right. So for me, first off is Sonic 2, just because. That, like, honestly, just seeing that movie just makes me a kid again. Just, oh my god,
makes you feel like you're playing a Sonic game.
It's just so perfect. Like,
I'm gonna Team Sonic teaming up against the giant Eggman robot.
Sonic 2 is 10 out of 10. Sonic 2 is 10 out of 10.
That's got to be a 10. That's got to be your 10 out of 10, Nick. He even goes Super Sonic.
He goes Super Sonic. You get the chili dogs.
They hint at Shadow.
Yeah, post-credit scene with Shadow. Jim Carrey is perfect as Robotnik. We get his Death Egg robot.
I love where he goes. I like the gold. It works for you.
Yeah. It's just like, oh,
it's the best. It's the absolute best. That is the gold standard. Actually, I have one more. Detective Pikachu.
Yes, that's going to actually be my next pick is Detective Pikachu.
That's my honorable mention.
Yes. Number 3 would be Castlevania. Just because, like, I'm a huge Castlevania fan, and they just, like, we talked about, like, stuff being a D&D adventure. Trust it, like, Castlevania definitely feels like it's a D&D adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Are you a Castlevania fan?
No, I haven't played the games before.
You need to play the games. You need to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night, at least.
You've given me so much homework over the years, Nick. I'm like, stop it.
You need to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's actually a really good game.
All right. Even if I don't have the system, that allows me to play it.
It is on Xbox, actually. It did come out for, like, Xbox 360, and I imagine it's backwards compatible.
I have to check because not all 360 games are compatible with the Series X. But I do have my old 360 that I still use. I'll check it out. But yeah, because the thing about Detective Pikachu is going into it, I was concerned about how they're going to make the Pokemon look in live action. And I think they did a pretty decent job of making them look good in live action.
Let's see here. Keep talking. I'm looking something up right now.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they looked for the most part realistic and what you think a Pokemon looks like in live action. So I'm like, bravo to the VFX team who made them actually look like they exist in the real world.
So I have good news. Which Xbox do you have?
360 and Series X.
You can buy Castlevania Symphony of the Night on Xbox for $10, and it works on Series X.
It's just Castlevania has never been a game series that really interested me.
It's really good. It's $10. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
But it's like
you buy random figures because of the love you show. I think you can spend like
but I'm interested in those franchises.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night is literally one of my favorite games of all time, and it would actually mean a lot to me if you could give it a try.
I'll look into it, okay? I'll look into it. I'll wait till it's cheaper because I'm not spending $10 on a franchise I'm really not interested in.
It's $10.
Yeah, but I'm not spending $10. Right now, I'm not spending $10 on something unless I'm really into it. I'll think about it, okay? I'll wait until it's on Game Pass because then absolutely.
But
all
right, we'll talk about this after the show. But like, yeah. But yeah, so what number was I at? I was at 3.
I think so.
So trying to think here. Mario Brothers would probably be number 4, and then number 5 I'd have
Which
to say,
Mario Brothers? I'm just gonna assume
One
he
from the
means
90s, of course.
I'm just gonna imagine he's talking about the John Leguizamo one.
Of course I am. You trust the fungus. Of course.
That's the best one.
I know, it's the best movie ever.
It's
fact,
almost
the only-
like it's almost
the
like it's almost like me by him saying that. It's like me saying Halo is a faithful adaptation of the source material.
But it is a faithful adaptation.
I know, isn't it right?
I didn't realize
Everyone knows Halo is actually a dating simulator. That would be hilarious. That's what we need now.
But number 5 would probably be Mortal Kombat, the 90s version, just because it's a bit nostalgic for me, and that theme.
Mortal Kombat!
I do want to give a special shout out to Mortal Kombat Legacy, which was like a official web series done in like the 2010s. It's actually surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, I think that's a good place to leave it, Nick.
Yeah.
So, you want to?
This has been Nick Gibson.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So this has been Nick Gibson from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.
Wonder Bats.